In this video, I'm going to walk you through a presentation I recently did for the Association for Creative Industries regarding how to take action when it comes to advertising, sharing content during the coronavirus and the worldwide quarantine. My name is Tracy Reuter, and I'm the CEO and founder of Divine Social, and we are a social media advertising agency specializing in Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Snapchat ads. So the majority of our clients that we work with are in the creative industries. So arts and crafts, anything in the fine art when it comes to physical products. And then on the info product side, we work with a lot of creatives, people who are coaches, consultants in the transformation type space. And so I recently had the opportunity to do a presentation for the Association for the Creative Industries, AFCI, literally probably within a week of the worldwide lockdown for the coronavirus. And the audience was they're primarily traditional retailers. So they have brick and mortar stores, and most of these people actually don't have an online store. And so we wanted to put together something for them to kind of talk them through how to amplify useful content during this time. And I thought it'd be useful to share because I think these principles not only are valuable for anyone in any industry, but this has really been how our agency has approached every single one of our clients from the very, very beginning of this global crisis, because there are many, many businesses that they couldn't advertise anymore. And fortunately, the majority of the clients that we serve were positioned to do really, really well. And so if you find yourself falling into that creative industry, if you have arts and crafts or anything that is creative from a physical product, that people can touch and feel and do things with, or you find yourself in a position where you're in the transformation industry, helping people create transformations, personal transformations, then this will really help you. So let me just kind of share a little bit about just the intro. I'm not going to get into the whole presentation because it was an hour-long presentation, but I just wanted to share a little bit about what we covered with you so that you can kind of see how we have been advising our clients that, thank goodness, are thriving during this time. And so we want to try to help as many businesses thrive as we possibly can, knowing full well that we can't help everyone. And not every company is going to be positioned to be able to thrive during this season. In fact, we know our clients are amongst the truly fortunate to be able to be doing what they're doing today. So the subject that we covered when we went through this presentation was amplifying useful and relevant content to thrive during challenging times. And the key really is useful and relevant. And I think that's been the secret to our clients' success during this challenge, is making sure that we are providing content that is relevant and useful. So let's talk about the two big priorities. The two big priorities that we've seen as an agency that we've really been guiding our clients to really focus on is to, number one, help the community that you live in. What can you do for the people around you, whether it be, your local community, the community that you normally do business in, whatever that is, how can you help them? What can you do to provide value to them during a very stressful situation for the entire planet? And then number two, and this is number two, this is not number one, this is number two. How do you find a way for your business to survive or potentially even thrive during a state of uncertainty? And I think this is really, really important to be thinking this way and to be trying to figure out, like, how can you stay afloat? Because I think as businesses, we owe it to our families, to our employees, to our communities to continue to try to stay afloat. And I know that can be very, very challenging, but these are really important priorities. How do we help the community? And then how do we thrive during this time? All right. So I went into who I am and all of that. I'm not going to get into that with you here, but I've co-authored I wrote several chapters in the Ultimate Guide to Facebook Ads. I co-host a podcast. There's lots of ways that you can find more about me. And then just a little bit about our agency. I don't always talk about this in the videos, but we are a virtual team. And so we were positioned to be able to support our clients. Nothing really changed for us at all. And we have deep expertise in both Facebook and Instagram. And we've recently added Snapchat and Pinterest ads to our portfolio. And we have been pioneering blending online and offline sales. So this is really important. The offline and online sales is really important when we were talking to the physical products industry, when we are, a lot of our clients sell products that are sold in Michael's and Hobby Lobby and Joann's fabrics or in independent retailers. And so we tend to work with clients that a lot of them have both e-commerce and traditional retail. And so we've got a lot of experience in that. We really are digging deep into our e-commerce skills because of course most of the retail stores are not open during this crisis. And then the other piece is we're customer journey experts. So we really understand how to move people through that whole customer journey process. It's very, very important. So this is an important message that I think this is important for us when we're not facing challenging times, right? Having the right mindset. And so it's really important. And we've seen this, as I'm recording this video, we've been a full month since here in the United States that there's been, most businesses have been shut down. Most people have had to shift to working from home. Schools have been shut down. So I think we've all understood during this season that technology is your friend. And so it's really, really important. And again, I think some of these principles are important, when we're not in a situation like this, but staying in front of your customers, staying in front of potential new customers, staying in front of people, even with social distancing. And so we've seen some incredible creativity, especially in the creative industry space over these last several weeks. But I think this mindset is really important. If we're not in challenging times, if we're in good times, we still need to be thinking about how do we stay in front of our customers and our potential customers, even if we are, not doing online only, or we're doing offline and online. This is really, really important. Now, one of the things that we are experts in is really utilizing Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest ads to stay in front of people, to get information in front of people. So a lot of these principles, these are things we're doing 365 days a year. And we've been doing this for over 5 years prior to all this happening, which was really exciting to see that our methodologies could help serve companies who maybe hadn't stepped into this strategy prior to this really, really challenging time in our world. So that's number one. Number two, and I think, again, this is a principle that you can apply to your business 365 days a year, no matter what is happening. But it's so important during times where we are not able to be face-to-face with people outside of technology. So it's super important that you show up and you're seen. It's interesting. It's taken me about 30 days before I started creating some of this content to share to be able to show up and be seen. The reason is because I've been showing up and being seen in front of the people, in front of our existing clients, and really, really serving in our communities, and realize it's about time we do some stuff outside of that. So even if you didn't take action right away, it's okay. It's just important to show up and be seen during this time, because if you don't, somebody else will, right? And then this last one was specifically for the creative industry, because people are crafting more than ever. So if you are in the creative industry, if you are, in the arts and the crafts, the fine arts, yarn, textiles, whatever the case might be, people are doing that more than ever right now, because really we've had over 36 million children home from school. My goodness. So then we just dove into how do we help the community? And so this goes back to staying in front of your customers, your potential customers. This has been an incredible time to put yourself out there using relevant and useful content to help new potential customers find out who you are. It's a wonderful time to connect with customers in a new and fresh way that maybe you never have before. And for the people that had a traditional brick and mortar retail business, bringing people to your store and leveraging technology and social platforms like you never have had to before. And so whether you have a traditional retail or you've always been e-commerce, I think this has been a really interesting time in our world for a variety of reasons, but to really to build the case that if you've been a retail only business and you haven't had an e-commerce presence, this is the time to start building that. And, the saying is, when's the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 50 years ago or today. And so I think it's super, super important that we adapt from this situation and we learn how to market our businesses maybe differently. So if you were somebody that had an offline business only, how are you going to move forward with being able to leverage online if, God forbid, something like this were to ever happen again? So in the crafting space, and you could probably do this in a variety of different spaces, but it's really staying visible with relevant content. So in this case, we were suggesting project ideas, how-to instructional tutorial and content, and then inspirational and fun ideas. And it's been amazing to see, because when we started sharing this information, this was weeks ago, and we've just seen the trend on social platforms that there's been a surge in this type of content that's being shared. And I think it's just been incredible to see some of these creatives really, really taking the lead and getting some really good content out there. Because I think, not just during challenging times, but I think in general, as business owners, as marketers, as advertisers, we have a responsibility to flood the newsfeed with good stuff. The news feeds, there are some really interesting things out there, and we've seen it during this time. We saw this when this all started happening. We saw people hoarding things like toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and people really trying to capitalize on what was happening, and that's just not. That's not the best version of capitalism, right? It's definitely not the best that it could be. And so it's been such an incredible thing to see people show up, to see businesses show up in a way that is truly the best version of what business can be. And so we definitely want to make sure we help people stay visible with content. And then we just shared some project ideas and some themes that people could work on. This is the key from a mindset standpoint, short-term and long-term. And I think, because we just don't know how the world's going to shift from this. We don't know how long this is going to last. And so it's very, very important that you really are focused on, you want to have long-term mindset, but you also need to have a short-term strategy. You need to be able to have, we had one client that had put so much energy into their 2020 strategy that they really, really struggled for several weeks to let go of that, or to put it on the shelf so that they could really pivot and have a short-term strategy during the season. And I think it's super, super important, whether it's your overall offer, it's your sales funnels, it's your advertising, whatever the case may be, you need to have a short-term strategy and a long-term strategy. So what can you do to generate revenue now? What can you do to provide value right now? And then how do you position yourself for the future? So I'm definitely going to get into some of this stuff in a few other future videos, but it's been very, very fascinating to see that certain clients that we've had, we've seen them pivot their offers. They've actually developed completely new offers during this season that have been value-based, that have been relevant, that have been useful content that they've been able to put out there. And it's absolutely transformed their business during a time that they were, one client in particular was full-blown panicked for good reason. But really, we help them pivot, and it's absolutely changed their business in the short term. So that short-term strategy has been very, very powerful. And then we have other clients that maybe they weren't able to pivot their offer, but they had something, especially our clients in the transformation space. This is huge. So our clients in the transformation space, a few of them didn't actually have a funnel that made sense right now. However, they did have some resources. They had some stress reduction resources. They had some meditation resources. And so we've used this season and we've used this time to put incredible, valuable content into the newsfeed, and at the same time, use it to build their email list. And I'm going to talk in a future video about the cost of the ads, what we've seen over the last several weeks. I'm going to show you actual data. Can't give you the specific clients, but I'm going to show you the numbers so you can see what's happened. But it's been absolutely powerful for businesses that those people who didn't freeze, who didn't get paralyzed, and it's okay if you do for a little bit, right? Like everybody does. Like I know I did. I had some time that it was like, oh my goodness. And then it was like, you shake yourself and you just say, okay, we've got to move forward. And so the businesses that we've partnered with, to be able to see them really understand that they have something of value right now, even if they didn't necessarily have the offer to pivot, they both used a short-term strategy and a long-term strategy. And I think that's going to be key. Again, we don't know how long this is going to go on. We don't know what the new normal looks like. We just don't know. But I think if you have the right mindset to serve and to make a difference in the community, to put out valuable, useful, and relevant content, and you think short-term and long-term, if you try to balance those two things, I think you'll position yourself to weather the storm better than people who aren't doing that. So with that, I want to encourage you, if you haven't yet got our mini class. We have a mini class called the 3 Pillars to Successful Social Ads. And that 3-pillar process has actually been really, really crucial to our clients during this season, because one big piece of it, the 3 pillars are essentially building audiences, creating engagement, and conversion campaigns. And I think right now more than ever, the engagement campaigns are incredibly, incredibly important. So I want to invite you to head over to our website. If you go to divinesocial.com/3 pillars, you can get that free mini class and learn that methodology. And then please stay tuned to future videos where we talk not only about what's been going on during this crisis and how our clients have been handling it, what's working, what's not, but continuing to share with you the strategies that we are using day in and day out with our agency, with our social media advertising agency, with all of our clients in the creative and the transformation space. So with that, my name is Tracy Ritter. The best is yet to come, and we'll see you on the next video.